Welcome back to Switch to Linux. It is Friday Night News, and today we are going to be talking about some privacy news. Who is looking at your DNA? Are you ready for a home assistant robot? Maybe like the Jetsons? And what did Match do? Other than making a whole lot of jealous people. We're going to be talking about those articles today. Alright, so first, Amazon is reportedly working on its first in-home robot. So they want to start deploying these. The word they used was funny. This is Vesta, is the code name, after the Roman goddess of hearth. Isn't that a sexual term? I don't know. But anyway, developed at Lab 126 that came up with Kindle, the Fire Phone, and the Echo. And of course, what the word they use, like they're going to be deploying these in the testers' homes. It's basically a robot butler able to perform a variety of household chores. Is what we say. It does not mean. My apologies. It is not some type of thing. Not the Jetsons lady, but it's basically like a mobile Echo. Essentially, is what it is. It'll follow you around and like look at that thing. Ooh. That one's not the one we're talking about. That's from a different one. But the home robot means a virtual assistant housed in some sort of mechanical exterior, basically like a Amazon Echo that follows you around. That's all I need. A spy following me around. Great. It's bad enough when I'm out there and about in the world. I don't need another one, dude. All right, but anyway, they're going to do, they're testing these guys out, and then I can't find that word. Oh, what is it? They said they're going to be deploying these in the testers' houses, but they used a really ominous sounding word. I can't remember what it was, though. Anyway, oh, yeah. They're going to be seeding devices in employees' homes. That's scary. Let's seed our devices on our employees' homes. That's a grand old thing to do, right? A grand old thing to do. I'm going to move myself over a little bit here. The articles are, I'm a little obstructing the articles. Now I'm right in the eye. All right. But anyway, Amazon will be seeding these devices in the employees' homes. I wonder if they'll be known about it. Will they know they're being seeded in the homes? That's a good question. But anyway, this was exciting. This could be under I'm not sure why this is under privacy. I think this was supposed to be under your security. Let's go ahead and talk about that under security. Let's do that one. Yeah, we'll talk about that one later. Match.com. Remember Match.com for your dating? Anybody find your date on your marriage partner and whatever partner? Saturday Night Fling on Match.com. Well, there was a glitch in Match.com and it reactivated a whole bunch of old profiles, raising concerns about user data. And that's a legitimate concern because, I actually just had to get rid of a phone number. I just got rid of one of my phone numbers, and I've gotten rid of that phone number that I've had for 20 years. Why? Because scammers got a hold of it. And all I was getting is up to 5 to 10 calls a day that were just robocallers. Congratulations! You won a... I'm going to stop now before I start swearing. But anyway, I had to get rid of the phone number. How'd that happen? My best guess is that data was compromised because I had applied for a job a decade ago at a university in Arizona, and they decided not to hire me, but they stored all of that data in a database for years upon years upon years. And about 3 or so years ago, that database was hacked, and they send you this, we're going to send you a 1-year subscription to this really crappy identity monitoring thing, which identity monitoring stuff, guys, don't pay for it. It's useless garbage. It doesn't do anything. Nothing. It doesn't do anything. But they want to send you that. Well, that's where I believe that they got it. They got the data from. And basically, I've been spammed on my phone numbers ever since then. Well, it raises those concerns. If you also remember I think it was called Ashley Madison, which was this dating site for people wanting to cheat on their spouse. Gotta love the integrity of that company. So they set theirs up, and for an extra $10,000 fee, they would delete your data. Well, Anonymous got really curious about that and hacked into the system and found that no, they did not delete the data, and there were a whole lot of high-profile people, from Christian ministers all the way to politicians, that had used the site at some point in time to find another extramarital fling. And so, you know, they expose that type of data. And this raises that question, can our data ever really be deleted? Well, it should be deleted. We should have the ability to have it deleted. But regardless, they don't want to delete our data. So basically, the zombie profiles are coming back to life. Some little trigger in the database, and boom, all these people start getting comments, you know, including this guy here. He'd apparently, I'm not sure if they didn't say if he had found his wife online or not. But anyway, by this time he is married and has a daughter, a 2-year-old daughter. So presumably they've been married hopefully longer than 2 years. Hopefully at least 2 years and 9 months, but you know, it's 2018. They may not even be married. I don't know. But basically, it says, oh, you have 10 new matches on Match.com. Well, to explain that one, if you happen to be, if you happen to already be on your spouse's suspicion list, honey, I checked your email on your phone, and you have 10 new profiles from Match.com. What aren't you telling me? So I'm sure that there were a whole lot of people with these types of things. Hopefully the gentleman found this out and deleted it and explained the situation up front to their wife and then possibly pointed to this article. Because basically something triggered, and he said literally 15 years ago. He had an account 15 years ago. He had stopped using, I'm not sure if it didn't say if he specifically actively deleted it, but 15 years ago he stopped using this account, and all of a sudden it's active again, and apparently is active enough that 10 new people had been looking for him. This is a big problem, that these companies, not only are they scraping up data, now of course a site like this, all of this data, he entered the data into the site to begin with, so okay, we have a little bit less of a concern. But how do we handle sites like Equihacks that we do no business with directly? We don't want to do any business with. I don't want a credit score. I don't want them to have big credit monitoring crap. I don't want all that crap going on, but I don't have any choice at all. We should have mandated laws in this country that my data must be deleted at my written notice, period. And a centralized, like the do not call list, a do not store data list. And it basically would make a system that is your data is completely private unless you specifically opt in by utilizing a service. So if I were to go to Match.com, the fact that I go and create the account opts me into them collecting data. But Equihacks has no business collecting a bunch of data. I don't do business with them. I don't want to do business with them. I do not want them to have any of my data. They have demonstrated they cannot do anything to secure it. They're demonstrated that they're more about their money, and all they get for breaking that trust in the entire American population is their executives got to retire with an extra couple $1 million bonus each. So, delete data. Delete data from time to time. Purge them databases. Oh boy. Who uses Discord for their video games and Microsoft products for their Xbox Live? Yeah, Microsoft partners with Discord to link your Discord to Xbox Live. Don't do it, people. Don't do it. Don't do it. In fact, I have advice for you. Utilize different emails for different type of accounts. Use different emails for different types of accounts. That is the biggest advantage to me hosting my own email through my own servers, is that every single device I've ever had, in fact, I have an Xbox that there was a time that I had used Xbox Live on it. My Xbox has its own separate email address. It was completely separated from every other device that I would possibly have. All right. That's the type of thing you can do. So this way now, link your account, sync your friends, show a game you're playing, give all that Discord data now to Microsoft. Yeah! Microsoft, screw you. Don't link your data. Don't link your data. Don't link your data. Okay? Don't link it. Because it just gives them the ability to snoop off of yet another application. And if I was thinking about not getting a Discord account before, I'm really thinking a third time now. Makes me wonder, is Microsoft going to buy up Discord like they buy up other things like that? And if Microsoft's even courting Discord to potentially purchase it, I would rather never have an account there. That's my thought. But anyway, they are wanting to link all this together so you can sync your data directly back and forth. See, all these little convenience things are stripping away your privacy, and you need to be very careful about it. Don't do this type of stuff. Just, if you got a friend on Discord and he's on Xbox, dude, it's not a lot of difficulty typing in his name one more time for Xbox. Oh, God. Don't link your accounts. That would be a bad thing for privacy. And the all-watching eye will be scanning your fingerprints. Oh, boy. Yep, the Pentagon is teaming up with a company that brought us the Predpol project to create a new system that's going to identify gang-related crimes. Isn't this awesome? Gang is a very loose term. Their technology has been used to track ISIS guys, Al-Qaeda, things like that. There went my demonetization. Whoops. Well, I said the I word. But anyway, they're using this system to track gang activity in Los Angeles, saying, oh, our gang databases are so out of date. Of course, what is a gang? What is a gang? It raises that question because, Juggalos are gangs. What a Juggalo is? It's a fan of the music group ICP, Insane Clown Posse. Identified by having Insane Clown Posse wear and Faygo Cola. So makes me want to someday just throw on an ICP t-shirt and walk down the street with Faygo Cola and see if I get a run-in with the police or something. I don't know. Maybe I can get myself inside this Predpol database. I don't know. But anyway, Predpol is teaming up with the Department of Defense now to formulate this new system to identify new gang-related stuff. Isn't this so awesome? Right on the verge of that. Is it Planetar? Who was that guy? It was from the Orleans stuff. I've been blocking it in my head. Peter Thiel got his fingers all over that sticky mess. Why am I at the bottom of all these? Like, I read these before I start. I forget to scroll back up. So Axon. Remember, Axon is the company that brought us tasers. After the guy died from being tased, they decided to change their name. It's kind of bad when your name is directly synonymous to the stuff that kills. But Axon is the new device, and they launched an AI ethics board to study the dangers of facial recognition. Basically, they're saying there is no policy or safeguard that can mitigate the risks, which is so true. The unfortunate thing is we are living in a world that it already exists. Like, I stopped not wearing a hat in public. I don't go in public anymore without wearing a hat. And sunglasses if I can, because it's getting so crazy. Like, I don't want to walk through a grocery store and have them doing facial recognition as I decide which ice cream I'm not looking at, because I haven't bought ice cream at the grocery store in a long time. I make my own ice cream, thank you very little. But as we go in and life comes up around us, we are going to be confronted with facial recognition, and it begs the question, what can we do about it? Of course, China, they're not going to care what some United States company says, and they're the leaders in facial recognition AI, which is a very scary thought. So we just have to be careful with what this kind of stuff is bringing on. So it's just go through, have a look what the article says, and I didn't dig into a whole ton in here, but basically they're just asking these good questions. There is some considerable issues where if this facial recognition mis-IDs somebody, it can lead to fatal consequences. For example, one of the biggest problems with facial recognition right now is people of color are misidentified more often than people of pasty whiteness. And so that could very possibly lead to police misidentifying, for example, a black man, thinking he is the perpetrator of some violent crime and just shooting the dude before he gets out of the car, because that's what the police tend to do these days, unfortunately. I'd love to be on their side, but I'm just... After 2014, I stopped caring. I think I was pulled over, and I don't speed. I think I was pulled over 5 times in a period of like 2 months. One of them was an entire squadron of police, 3 different states. One of them actually had a headlight had burnt out en route where I was going. So I had a headlight burn out. About 3 weeks later, it's pulled over in Ohio. 1 week later, it's pulled over in Pennsylvania. I mean, for no legitimate. Now, okay, the what seemed to be a legitimate reason is I lived out west, and the car was new. And I was waiting to get the title from the car company, which the car was bought in one state, to be transferred to another. And it turned out that that state puts their temporary license plates in the window, specifically stated in the documentation, do not put this anywhere but your window. Well, in every other state, you put it in the license plate holder. And that seems to be the route. Nobody ever told me that except the guy in Pennsylvania. And so I don't like being around police officers anymore. I'm just, no. They're just crazy. And of course, live streaming YouTube police officers just... But they should know where I am because, DNA's everywhere. This is an interesting article. An interesting discussion in the namesake of our title today. So, unable to connect, you'll see. Unable to connect. So, from the Sacramento Bee... I think a major storm just came in. Or we're having an earthquake. I'm getting really weird noises out there. I don't know. The end times. Anyway, relatives' DNA from genealogy websites cracked the East Area rapist case. Well, let's dig into this. So, of course, the East Area rapist, this was a guy that needed to come off the streets. Back in the 70s and 80s, he was committing rape and murder all up and down the California coast. And so, obviously, that's kind of a bad situation. We need to get these guys off the street. So, after the case being cold a long time, this new young rookie comes in and convinces her boss to allow her to dig through the cold case archive. So, goes to the cold case archive and says, there's some DNA samples. I wonder what we can find. So, they go on over to this place called GEDMatch. It is officially a thunderstorm. I just saw bolts of lightning out the window. That's exciting. So, if I happen to disappear... we may have lost power because I lose power here a lot. All right. So GED, let me make sure everything is saved and down. I think we're good. All right. So GEDmatch is a company which, by the way, you can't get to their main site. So this is their privacy policy. This is a company where you can take your DNA results and upload them for the rest of the world to look into. Of course, there's some notices in here. We ask you to provide real names for registration and data upload. You have the option of providing an alias for either of those. If an alias is provided, it will be displayed in place of the real name along with the results. Your DNA is linked to your genealogy, and only one or the other uses an alias. It may be possible for users to see the real name of the linked data. Of course, there's some, identity theft, credit fraud, etc., etc., etc. Be wary of this, blah, blah, blah. The data you upload is placed in the database to make it accessible to other users through the various applications on the site. Okay? They can't see what your password is, etc. Not that it really matters. There's email addresses, but what I want to find down here, where was it at? Use of the results. Okay, the nature of genealogy research requires exchange of information. There also must be tempered by respect for the rights and privacy of individuals. Anyone found to be using the site's ways not consistent with the principle of human decency will be subject to an immediate ban and the data removed. Spamming mailing lists, publishing other people's results or personal information without their information. I was looking for the, I think I missed it, where it talks about, actually, I want to hit that when there. Okay. I think just down a little bit down further here. We encrypt your login password. Okay. You cannot tell what your password is. There have been cases of news of encrypted data being hacked and decoded. Be aware of the possibility of this or on this or any other site. Take measures, etc., etc. I was looking for the spot that says, other people might get in here and utilize the data. So reading the privacy, it basically sums up as you upload your data, it is publicly searchable, anybody can see it, cross-reference it any way that they want. Of course, you have to supply data in order to use and get data out. But what I wanted to look at here is if genealogy research requires exchange of information. For that reason, all GEDcom's uploads may be viewed, searched, and compared by any other GEDmatch user. If you are concerned about the privacy of living individuals in your GEDCOM, you should use a genealogy program on your own computer to privatize your GEDCOM prior to uploading its GEDmatch. This usually involves changing the names of individuals to living or something similar. This is no different than that Facebook and Cambridge Analytica leak. Some other family member can upload data with your name attached and view the data. Now, this is the system that was used to find this killer. It's a good thing to get the killer off the street. It's a good thing that the DNA is not required or compulsively put into the system. But it's a bad thing that it's so open to anybody to use this, because there are horrible, horrible, nefarious purposes you could use the system for. Now, I'm very glad they caught this guy, and that's what makes this a difficult case. But what if this is the case that is used as the linchpin to say, let's put everybody's DNA results in a database? That's a slippery slope we don't want to get onto. It is. Because this is a rarity. This is the rare case where people were not caught in other means. But the danger here is, of course, is with all of that DNA in this data, and it wasn't him, by the way. It was not this rapist who put his data into the system. It was a family member. And the police scrubbed this site, got the DNA, and then looked at every connected family member of this person whose information was in there, and then stalked them all. And then grabbed a real-world piece of an object like a coffee cup or something, which if he went to Starbucks, got a coffee, drank the coffee, threw it away in a trash can that is on public property, they can go right into that trash can, take that out, and take DNA off of that item. It's not against the law. And that's how they tracked him down. So it's good that they found him. It's good that that happened. But I think that this raises a potential slippery slope of what if people are saying, we got to get all this data in the database because it's going to help solve all these crimes like this. Because now you have compromised the freedom of a lot of people. Because the system works great except for the element of human sin. Or human corruption, if you are not of the persuasions I am. Because corruption is everywhere around us. Bad corruption is everywhere. It is everywhere. And once this information is out there, there's no pulling it back. What if, now I'm going to throw in another thing. If you have your information on this site or another site like it, I want to ask a couple questions. What if a family member of yours uploads their DNA and there is some underlying potentially genetic disorder that would cause a health issue later on? And what if, and you better believe that health insurance companies are scraping this data. Oh, sure, it violates the terms, but who reads those anyway? Someone else if my brother were to upload data and a health insurance company scrubs this site, takes that data off, cross-links us together and says, oh, there's the possibility of a genetic disorder here, they have a reason in a way to charge us more. Or to charge someone else more. There are too many issues with this. By the way, it's possible to manufacture a DNA sample. Suppose you want to plant DNA evidence. It's possible. I did a lot of that type of stuff. I did research specifically doing subcloning of DNA in mammalian cells. That's what I produced the foundation of my doctoral thesis. Creating different types of DNA sequences. You just use a series of, using a series of restriction enzymes, splice DNA where you want it spliced, looking at different things, and you can recreate some bands. You can create enough to get you beyond the doubt of plausibility. Major, major challenges with this type of stuff. And I'm glad they used it to catch a killer. That's a good thing. But this begins a very slippery slope that we have to ask some very good questions about regarding DNA samples. And you should be warning your family, do not put your DNA on any of these types of sites looking for your ancestors. All these companies are doing is collecting a lot of data, and they're selling it out. Even at the bottom of GEDMatch's system, they have a statement down here about the future. We can't predict our future. And if we're ever bought out, all of our data goes with whoever buys us out. And if you don't like that, delete your data. I would encourage you not to engage in these types of systems. There are too many privacy implications to be had. So what do you guys think about these articles? I hope you've enjoyed this video from Switched to Linux. If you'd like to help support the channel, check out the links at the top. There is another video over here. You can check out our Patreon page down here. And you can check out shop.switchtolinux.com for information on a t-shirt like this or some other designs. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.